We're talking about being in our suffering or our junk or the stuff that makes us feel not good. So the good news, the good thing about this is that you're aware that you're not feeling good. So that means you're growing. That means you're moving up in this thing that we think is suffering, but it's really not. We think it's suffering, but it's really not. It's something that's teaching us. And I say this all the time. This world here that we're in is our university. It's teaching us, and it teaches us well. Some lessons are harder than others, but it's okay because we're learning. We're learning, and pretty soon the suffering will end. And we know this. How do we know this? Because it doesn't last forever. Nothing does. Nothing will last forever. So if we know that we've been in and out of suffering our entire life. We know it. One suffering has not lasted forever. One thing that happened has not lasted forever. So eventually it's going to go and you'll be out of suffering and you'll be in this happy place. And then if you're smart, if you think about where you're at, you'll go, oh, I'm here, but I'm not going to be attached to this feeling I'm having. Because the minute we attach to the feeling we have, then we create suffering again. This is how it works. We attach to it. We cling to it. We think, oh, I want this and I want to keep it. But nothing lasts forever. We've already said that, right? We've established that nothing lasts forever. So how's that going to last forever? Well, your non-suffering can last forever because you can let go of the attachment you have to whatever's making you suffer. Right? If you just keep letting go of whatever it is that comes. Things come at me all the time. Things come at Master Tong Bai, Master Bumi, all the great masters. They are not without things coming at them. Right? I mean, some of them are in wheelchairs. Some of them have had brain aneurysms. That's some heavy duty stuff, right? But yet they're not suffering. Their bodies may be in a little suffering, but their minds are not. See, it becomes something that you just, oh, that's nothing. It's not going to affect me. It only affects me if I allow it to affect me. So I don't want that. So I'm going to be here in this present moment. Bring yourself back. You'll always have things that you thinking, right? Your thoughts will come. Then you say, what is that? That's just a thought. It doesn't mean anything unless I make it mean something. Because you are the creator of whatever it is going on. You've created that. Sounds funny. But nobody else is there. The only person there is you. So you are the creator. So you can get really good at it and create some beautiful things in your life, or you can get really good at suffering and create that suffering and attach to that and be good at that. It's a choice you make. You can make it either way you want to go. It's not up to me. I can't do it for you. I'm not, I'm just here to say, look, I know for certain in my life. See, I can't say in your life, I can say in my life because I'm living my life. I know for certain in my life that when I bring myself into this present moment, the suffering stops instantly. It's gone. When I know where I am, I know where my heart becomes my mind, right? And my mind becomes my heart. They unite. Then I'm no longer thinking with this ego-infested mind. Because that's what it is. When you're in suffering, that's your ego. It's your ego telling you should have done something. You shouldn't do something. Somebody shouldn't have done something to you. Somebody should have done something for you. This is all ego speaking into your, whispering in your ear. But there's nobody else there. Just you. You and you. That's who's there, right?
So here's the great part. used to suffer, and then I come here and you tell me why I'm suffering. I was going to suffer tomorrow, but you're telling me how not to suffer.
Yes.
Because I knew, because I have to deal with this person that's very egotistical tomorrow, right?
Uh-huh.
But I don't have to attach to anything you say or not saying.
No.
It is what it is.
Yes.
I'm not going to change who he is. I have no desire to change who he is.
Right. There's no reason.
I'm just going to give him information. What he does with it, that's really
exactly.
up to him.
That's exactly right.
I mean, so this is good. So this is.
You don't look at you pre-suffering. That's what I was just
Yeah. Kathy was planning her suffering for tomorrow, but then she got a news flash that she didn't have to do that.
Exactly. I'm so glad.
She's like, oh.
How am I going to do this tomorrow? You know.
Yeah.
But, no.
Yeah. You just don't. This is the thing. It's all up to you. You know that you can do whatever you like. It's up to you. If you don't look, just because someone's talking doesn't mean you have to hear them. Right?
Right.
And most of the time, sometimes even when I'm talking, people aren't hearing me because they're in here. Chatter, right? That's okay. So what happens when you're with somebody that you don't want to hear what they say? You know how not to hear it, right? I mean, this is true. You know how not to hear it because you do it with me. So I know you know how not to hear it, right? It's a fact. So then all you do is do that with them. What is so important? Nothing. There is nothing more important than your peace, than Ubeka inside of you. Nothing. And once you get that, your life will be like, woo. Now, that's not to say things won't come at you. You just won't suffer over them. That's the way it works. You know, because then you'll be, oh, well, that's nothing about me. Right? It's not about me. You hear me say it too. Because Master Boomy said it to me many, many times. Right? It's not about you, Kim. Whole time. Not about you, son. Not about you. Right? It's their stuff. Why do you want to take somebody else's garbage and add it to your garbage that you already got? You're trying to get rid of your garbage. You're trying to take your trash and put it in the dumpster. And then instead of leaving your trash and not taking any back, you're taking their trash. Oh, they got some trash. Let me take their trash bag with me. And by the way, I'll just keep mine too. That's what happens, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But it's not about me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to happen. See, this is a choice. You are in the driver's seat and you're getting an education. Life is teaching you, right? So the first time you took a test in whatever school, college, high school, grade school, whatever, you know, the first time you took a test, you didn't really know what you were doing. And you may have even failed it because you didn't know what you were doing the first time you took a test. But then the next time you took a test, you studied a little bit. And then progressively, you did a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. This is you now. You're in college of the universe. And it's teaching you. And you're getting a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. Let yourself work on it. But work on it. You know, don't sit in it because then you're sitting in it, right? And then this is what happens when you do. Then, you know, some don't come to class because they're sitting in it. You know, not all of them, but probably all of them. You know, I'm just saying, you know, we all have things that come at us. And so if you know this, you know this. It's like Kathy saying, oh, I was going to suffer over that tomorrow, but I know I don't have to suffer over that tomorrow, right? Well, you know that every day of your life. You know, this is every day of your life, every minute, every second of your life. You can either flip the switch and go, no, I don't even have to listen to that. I don't even have to have that chatter in my mind. It's unnecessary. It doesn't serve a purpose. See, this is where you have to be truthful inside of yourself. Because you have to say to yourself, what is it serving? Like, what's it doing? If I think about this, what is it? What purpose? Like, is it going to teach me something? Is it good for me? What's it doing? You take a check, look at yourself. What am I doing? What is it? Because here it is. We have throughout our life, we go through and we're like, we have these things. And we do one thing, like everything in our life has brought us here. Everything in our life has brought us here. It was a road that we took. And one road led to another road, led to another road. And here we are, right? That's karma. Because whatever you do is going to lead you to something, right? Mm-hmm. So in that karma is energy, right? Because we're made up of energy. I'm going to get a little deep now. So we're made up of energy. Those energy wheels inside of us are called chakras, right? Some people think there's only 7. There's more. There's a lot more, right? Because they're all over the world. These energy centers, and they're spinning inside of us, right? But if any of those are in an imbalance, right, then that energy that you're generating isn't all that good energy, right? It's off balance a little bit. So then you have to ground yourself. You have to get yourself back into balance so that your energy is flowing clearly, right? Flowing through you clearly. If we don't do that, then we're all in upheaval, right? Take the time to center yourself. Take the time to ground yourself. Go sit outside, but sit on the ground because you're getting in touch with nature. You're getting in touch with that energy center that's flowing not only through you, but through the whole universe, right? It's all flowing the same. That's why in Thailand, the monks, some of them have never worn shoes in their life. They don't wear shoes. Some of them do. But, I know Tina Gone. Hi, Tina Gone, if you ever see this. He does not, he never wore shoes. I'm not sure. I don't think he ever wore shoes in his lifetime. And he meditates a lot. Kind soul that when you see him, his smile just lights up the area that he's in. It's true. But he always speaks the truth, and he speaks it matter of fact. There's no emotion in it. I'll say, do you want some of this? No. That's how he said, no, I don't. Okay. Here we take offense, but he's speaking his truth. I don't want it. Not English either. He knows Nitnoy, a little bit of English, but he'll say, no, I don't want it.
There's no ego involved.
No ego.
That's the ego that we take.
Yeah, the ego would be, oh, he just said no and didn't say thank you. It would be like you getting in a huff because he said it the way he said it. That's his way of saying it. But we get offended by things or the way people, because we need them to address us in a certain way. That's a bunch of hogwash. That's not a truth. Just because they say it in a certain way. Look, he's from Thailand. I'm from America. We speak things totally different. There are words in America that you speak that if you spoke it to someone, they'd punch you in the face. But there, it means squash. Right?
Yeah.
It means squash. It's the F word. It means squash over there.
Like
here,
squash that you eat?
yeah. It's a vegetable. Yes. But here, we're like, what did you just say? You can't say that.
What?
Right. But see, it means something totally different. And words, this is words, right? Words that are just words. They don't mean anything. It's what's in your heart, in your soul that means something. I mean, you can actually get to the point in your life where you can speak from your heart without speaking words. And I know this for a fact, right? It's a truth. Vanessa witnessed it. That's why I looked at her and said, right? Because it's a truth. You will get to a point where all of this outside you is outside you. It can only affect you if you bring it in and attach to it. It means nothing otherwise. And if you remember this and be kind to yourself, be kind. You have to speak truth inside yourself and be kind. So there were things that I always somehow read something that will benefit the class every week, right? So this week I read about being kind to yourself, right? Telling yourself a truth and not being angry with yourself. See? Everybody gets angry with themselves. And then what happens is that anger is projected out because that's the energy, right? We're talked about energy. That's the energy that you have going on inside of you. So when you have anger inside of you, it's going like this. And so you've got this going on. And then you wonder why people around you are reacting to you the way they react. It's karma. That's what happens. You're in a state of anger inside yourself with yourself. It doesn't do anything. It's no good. There's no purpose for it, right? Remember I said you got to talk to yourself and say, what's the purpose on this? There's no purpose. So this is what this little thing that I read said. It said, forgive others and forgive yourself. Now, I've said this before, but being as I read that this morning, I knew I needed to speak it in class, right? Forgive others and forgive yourself. Because what you're angry with others about, you're holding inside of you. So you have to do a forgiveness thing, right? I've done it many times in this class. I've spoken out to everyone. Anyone that I may have harmed in my lifetime, I am sorry. Please forgive me. Right? For things I may or may not know that I've done. Please forgive me for what it is. See, I'm speaking out to everyone in the world. If I have hurt you in any way, please forgive me. Right? And then I forgive myself for anything I may have done. This is important because as long as you carry that inside of you, you carry that inside of you, and it's heavy. It's a heavy thing to be holding on to.
The guy that asked me about meditation today, I said, one of the big things is learning to love yourself. And then it was like,
Yeah.
The words came out, but you think about, most of us have no idea what that is. I mean,
No.
even
No.
practicing it.
Yes. Yeah. It's forgiveness.
Yeah.
It's forgiving yourself because we have thought that we've done wrong our entire life. For one reason or another. It doesn't matter the reason, right? It's just a thought that we've had our entire life, which makes us feel not good enough.
And not trusting the soul of someone else's.
Is this on?
But someone else's thought more than our own soul's thought,
Yes.
So,
Yes, exactly. Trusting someone else's thought.
Right, more than what I
But
know
here's the
inside.
thing. You don't know what they're thinking.
Right.
You're making an assumption about because of what you think of yourself. You're saying, oh, they must be thinking this about me because that's what you think about you.
So it's that finger pointing,
Yes.
the orb coming back at you.
Yes. See, we need to cover this and hopefully everybody is watching because this is important. We blame ourselves. We go down a path that creates suffering for no reason. And we're the ones doing it to ourselves. So we have to forgive ourselves, right? We have to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive everyone that has ever harmed us in our life or that we thought harmed us. Because a lot of times what we think they harmed us didn't really harm us, turned us into where we are right now. Right. So if we remember this, it's something little to remember, but it's big, right? It is, because if you forgive others and forgive yourself, you've won that battle. You're finished with that battle. There'll be another one, don't worry, but that one you're done with. That one you're finished. You know, the forgiveness, because then you remember that you're not bad. See, once you start forgiving yourself, once you say, okay, you know, I forgive, but it's important, you got to forgive everybody else too. You know, doesn't work if you just say, oh, I'm going to forgive myself, and you hold a grudge with someone, then that's coming inside of you. You have to complete forgiveness for everyone, including yourself. And then beautiful things start happening in your life. You start thinking a little bit differently. Instead of the negative, you start looking for the positive. You start saying, oh, no, that's going to work out just fine. And it always does. See, that's the thing. No matter what we tell ourselves in our mind and no matter what path we go down, it always works out. Because the proof is we're all sitting here. So it worked out somehow, didn't it? No matter what, it always works out. We go down paths sometimes because we needed to go down that path to see something. Pay attention everywhere you go. Everything that's happening, look for the good in it. Everything that's happening, look for the good in it. Because if you look for the good, you will find it. You look for the bad, you will find that. Because it's both. Sounds funny, doesn't it? But it's the truth. It's both. It'll be good and bad. That's life, right? There's good and bad in everything.
There is no light without dark.
Right. Exactly. So if you remember this, then you can take yourself and start creating what you want in your life instead of what you don't want. It's not hard. It happens really quickly when you start doing this, when you give forgiveness to yourself and others. Forgiveness. See, sometimes we don't even know what we're forgiving ourselves for. Like there's a list, usually very long, and and then we have to figure out which one we want. Just do it all. You know, you don't have to wait. You can just forgive yourself for all of it. You don't have to name all of it. You don't have to think about all of it. You can just say, I forgive myself for all of it.
So the ego makes it the right and wrong, right? Because it's neither right nor wrong. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the ego that says
Yes.
it's good or bad or dark or light or whatever.
Yes. Because always you can see.
Judgment
Yes.
So that's the just that.
Yes. It's just that. It is what it is. No more, no less. You know, we put names on things like, okay, who knew this was a piece of paper? Like, who called this a piece of paper? You go to another country, they're not going to call it a piece of paper. They'll call it something else that they made up. Somebody over there made it up. Right? Everything is just that. It is what it is. So if we just say, okay, it is what it is, you don't get attached to anything. Right? You can love. I love people. I love you guys. Right? You know I love you. There's not a doubt in your mind. Am I attached? No. Am I going to go down the suffering road with you? No. Not going to do that. But I will give you tools to get yourself out, right? I'll help you. I'll give you everything I've learned and everything I'm about to learn, and, so on and so forth. I'll give you that. Whatever I got, I'll give you. But I am not going to suffer with you because I've already done that to myself, forgiven myself for it. And now I'm in a ubeka. I'm in a good state where I'm going to stay because every day I do things to make myself stay in this place. Easy to go, you can go the other way, but we think it's easy the other way, but it's not easy. It's suffering. We're miserable when we're there, right? And when we're not suffering, we feel good, right? But without the suffering, we wouldn't know what good was, So it's I already know. I've already suffered a lifetime. I don't need to suffer anymore. I know what that is, right? I do. It's true. I know what it is. I know what it feels like. I can see, I can have a thought and go, not today, because no, I know where that thought will lead. I can see it plain as day. So I don't go there because I'm like, no, why would I do that? I've already done that. I don't want to do that anymore. Right? And that's the quickest like that. I see it, nope. And move on with my day. I don't care what it was. It doesn't matter. I don't need to ask, go in all. I'm just like, no, because I've already done that. I know I've done that. I've already been down that road and suffered that and cried over it, whatever. I've done that. I'm not doing it again. In my lifetime, I've lived many lifetimes, right? In this lifetime here, in this lifetime, I've lived many lifetimes because I went through many different ways of life. It's the truth. And then I got here. And this is where I like to be. It's a beautiful place. Tomorrow I could be somewhere else. But I know how to get out of whatever it is. We all have those tools. We all know how to get out of it. All of us know how to get out of it. It's just a matter of doing it. See, that's the wirya, right? That's the effort. The effort. See, first we start out, I'm going back through the 5 that Master Boomni taught us, right? Satchitam, truth. See, tell yourself the truth. I'm suffering because I'm in the past or I'm in the future or I'm being negative to myself, right? This is why I'm suffering. So speak the truth, right? Metta, loving kindness. Forgive yourself, right? Metta, loving kindness to yourself. Candy, be patient. It's a lesson. You're going to learn it. Don't worry. It'll come back if you don't learn it this time. It repeats until you do. It's all right, right? Wirya, effort. Effort. Now, I told somebody this at the restaurant one time, right? He asked me for something. I said, I'll give you something here. So I gave him the 5, right? And I got to the last one. I said, wirya, effort. Ubeka, balance, peace, equanimity. He said, well, how do you get that? I said, you do the first 4. It's automatic. When you do the first one, the second one is automatic. When you do the second one, the third one is automatic. Right? It just flows like that. That's the way it does. And then you do the 4th one, and there you are in peace. That's the key. If we do it. It's a choice. We can do it or not do it, It's totally up to us, really. It's not up to anybody else. Has nothing to do with anyone else. We convince ourselves it has something to do with someone else. Our happiness, our ubeka. It has to do with that. Somebody else is the reason that I'm not here, right? I'm not in this balanced space. It's somebody else's fault. We tell ourselves that, well, if they would have just done this, or if they wouldn't have done this, or if they talked to me in a different way, or if they just listened to me, we tell these stories to ourselves. So we have to go back to number one. What's the truth, right? The truth is nobody can do anything to you. That's the truth. I mean, they can take your body, but they still can't do anything to you unless you let them inside your mind. Unless you bring it in and attach to it. They can't do anything to you. So that's true. Give yourself love and kindness. Be kind to yourself. Forgiveness, right? We got to do these are the steps. I'm giving you a play-by-play, right? We do this every week, but in a different way every week. And here's the thing. You think when you leave here, you'll remember. But you have to practice to remember. See? It's like playing the guitar, or playing the piano, or painting, or writing, or whatever it is that you choose to do. You have to practice at doing it to be able to get good at it, right? That's with everything. You don't go to school and not study and then get good grades. You have to study a little bit to get good grades, right? That's the way it works. Put your effort into this and you will be greatly rewarded with yourself. It's an amazing thing that happens. It's not like this, bells and whistles, and all of a sudden I've got this enlightenment and oh my God, I can see everything and da da da. It's not like that. And stop telling yourself it's like that. It's not like that. It's knowing inside yourself that you are loving kindness. This is truth. I'm speaking the truth, right? I know. How do I know? Because I've done it. I do it on a daily basis. All the time. I got to take a check on myself on a daily basis, minute by minute. But I give that effort because I know the reward. I don't like the reward of suffering. I don't like that reward. That's a reward we get too, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't like that reward. So I want the reward of balance. And so I do what I need to do to put myself in balance. And literally, I am doing it for myself. No one else. I'm not doing it for anybody else, and no one else is doing it for me. Just for myself. But if I didn't do that on a daily basis, I couldn't be here teaching you. Because I'd be in my stuff, right? I'd be in suffering. And then what would I be teaching? Suffering. Teaching you how to suffer. But that's not what you want to learn, is it? Yeah, not what I want to learn either. So daily, I give my effort to myself. It's not for anyone else. I'm repeating that. It's not for anyone else. It's for myself. That's what it's for. No one can do it for me. And nobody really gives a crud whether I do it or not. I mean, seriously. Because it's about individuals doing it for themselves to get where they want to be in this balanced state. You don't want to be in the balanced state, don't do it. It's easy. You can, either way, it's okay. It's not a big deal either way. It's up to you what you want to do. No one's making you do it. But if you do it, you won't be in the suffering. This is how it works. And it's not anything that I've created. This is just the way energy, the universe, karma, whatever you want to call it, that's the way it works. What you generate out is coming back. So I'm always trying to generate loving kindness, right? I'm generating that out, but I'm also generating it to myself. I take care of myself without question first. And that sound, people would say, oh, that's like ego right there, but it's not ego. It's taking care of yourself. We've been taught that that's ego, but it's the opposite. Because once you take care of yourself with loving kindness, see, then you can do that with others. It just generates out. You don't really have to do anything because once you're generating that, it's flowing. And no matter where you go, people automatically see it. It's an automatic thing because you got that going on inside of you. What else could come out? Right? What else can come out? If you're generating love and kindness, what else could come out? Nothing. Love and kindness. That's what you're generating. That's what's going to come out. Generate the other. That's what's going to come out. And then that's what you can expect to see in your life. That's what you're going to see. No matter where you are, what you're doing, if you're whatever you're generating out, you'll start seeing it. And this is truth. I can go anywhere and I'm generating out love and kindness and I'm getting that back. And sometimes there might be somebody where you might think, oh, he's being a jerk. You know what happens when that happens? I speak to them in loving kindness. And they speak to me in loving kindness back. I've had strangers tell me they love me because I was generating that to them. They were generating it back. That's the way it works. That is karma. People say there's no such thing. Oh, yes, there is. You can call it whatever you want to. Cause and effect, karma, whatever you want. But that's what happens. Whatever you're putting out, you can expect that back. And sometimes it doesn't come right away. Sometimes it may take a little bit of time for it to come back around. But that's okay. Then you'll know how to deal with it by the time it gets there. Right? I mean, really, if you just think of it that way, you are in the driver's seat completely. Nobody else. There is not one other soul driving your train. You are. However you want to do it, whatever you want to do, that's up to you. Nobody is going to make you do it or not make you do it because this is all inside of you. I'm just like giving you tools to see what you can do. But nobody's going to be like, okay, you're not meditating today and you thinking bad thoughts about yourself. And who out there is going to say that? Nobody, except for you. Right? That's the only person saying it. Nobody else comes up to you and says this stuff. Occasionally, I may say it to guide you out of the crap that you've gotten into. But it's all up to you. I try to have a little bit of mercy and go, okay, here, if you just do this right here, you'll come out, but sometimes you take it, sometimes you don't. Then I have to say, well, that's up to you, not up to me. Right? I can't force, nor do I want to, anyone to do anything. I want them to do it because they want the peace inside, the upekkha, the loving kindness, right? The bliss that you get. I want everybody to do it for themselves. Right? Sounds like I'm talking in riddles tonight, doesn't it? But I'm not. You can see what I'm saying. Do it for yourself, It's an amazing thing. And your life will be so much easier. right? It will do thing. Because all these things that you're speaking inside of yourself are just stories. They're not real. It's not real. Like we think it's real because it's in our head. But this head tells you stories all the time. Oh, they must be thinking this about me. Well, what was that look they gave me? Why, are you in their head? Because whatever's going on in your head, they probably got that too, right? They're chattering inside themselves too. And you thinking it's all about you, but it's not about you at all. This is the way it works, right? But we don't see it because we're so wrapped up in our ego inside of our mind. But once we let that go and forgive ourselves and give loving kindness, all that goes away. Like I don't go down the street and somebody look at me and I think, oh, what are they looking at? I'm like, how you doing? Have a good day. What you up to? You got something going on? I'll talk to them. Because I'm not going to assume that I know what their mind is going through because that's a whole nother thing, right? Just speak. And things will unfold for you. It's an amazing thing, really. Be kind. Speak in kindness. Let me clarify that. Speak in kindness, right? Speak in kindness to yourself so that when you're speaking, kindness generates out. This is very important because this is like the stepping stone.
Yes. I know you said when we come back from the retreat, it's like you go to say something. Is it kind? Is it necessary? Or I think it was those two. I spent a while like I do a lot of useless talking.
Yes.
A lot of it.
Yes. But that's okay because then you recognize that you're doing it, right? Mm-hmm. That's the key. Because before you'd have a lot of that going on and not even know you were doing it. You'd be like, someone talk and you go, what? Because you were in here but you didn't know you were in here. Now you're saying, oh, I'm chattering for no apparent reason whatsoever, right? So you know that's a knowledge that you now have.
Mm-hmm. And when I'm at work, I'm like, say my coworkers will be talking or whatever, and I'm always like, do I need to partake in this conversation? No. Is it necessary? No. Are the things I'm going to say nice? Probably not. So I'm going to go back to my cubicle.
Right? Kudos on you, Anna.
So a lot of times they'll look at me and I'm like, I'm just going to go back over here. I'll be over here. Because I don't know. It's different now that I know that. I'm like, huh. I'm aware. I'm like,
yeah, you're aware of the truth. And you've probably saved yourself a lot of suffering doing that.
Yeah. A lot of not involving myself into drama too.
Right. Because the last place you were at was
I involved myself because I would talk about it.
Right. But now you're just like, oh, I don't need to because you know the truth. See? It's much easier living the truth than stories inside of our mind. Mm-hmm. It's so much easier. We think it's harder, but it's not harder. It's so much easier. If the truth will set you free. I say it every week. The truth will set you free. And it's true.
It's kind of funny you say that because sometimes I found myself when I'm trying to get away from the negative portions, as soon as I walk up, there'll be 2 or 3 people talking. And I mean, almost before I can get within earshot of them, I can almost feel the bull crap, and I'm like, and I just go to because I don't even want to feel it. I don't want to know, because if I know, then I will think about their bullshit.
But that would be a choice that you're making. You can because we live in this world, right? So we're going to have to interact at some point with people, right? That don't know.
Not to,
but you're going to have to.
Right.
See, I do it every single day. Look, I don't suffer, but every day I talk to people in suffering, right? Every single day of my life. I live with it. I hear it. every day of my life. There's not a day that goes by that I don't speak with somebody that is in their own chaos.
How do you keep, cause I find myself, cause it's not that I'm mad at them, but I find myself getting agitated because it's the same thing.
But that's you taking on their stuff.
But I don't mean to because it's
Well,
the same
then you got to
story.
practice at not doing it.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I'll get around it before I get around them. I already know it's the same story I heard 6 months ago, and I'm like, you're
That's
in the same
me
damn place you
Every
were,
day.
stupid.
But they're not stupid.
But
They don't have knowledge that you may have.
but in my brain, I'm sitting there going,
But that's a judgment.
I know.
So, Lowell, let me tell you, you have to say it's not about me. Those words right there are important.
So when I look at them and I go, you're in the same place you were 6 months ago.
Why are you
stupid,"
even saying that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
So
see, that's not necessary.
So that's where I'm making it about. Because I mean,
Yes,
it's not about
Because
me,
you're
but-
trying to control where they are in their life, and you cannot. Trust me, if you could, I'd be doing it. But you can't.
Right,
You
but I
can't.
still think they're stupid. I mean,
Well, that's a judgment, and so this is how you're feeling about yourself.
Whenever you feel something about someone else, it's usually a reflection of what's inside. It's that
Yes.
when you're pointing the finger, there's 3 or 4 pointing back to us always.
Yes.
well, okay, because I didn't think about it as really pointing. Well, I guess I am.
Yes. And so if you as you go through, this is how you do it, because you're gonna have to deal with people, and you are them. They are you. Okay. So just because they're going through something that they've been through before, have you not done stuff and done it over again and over again and over again?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
You know me my whole life. So yeah.
Right. I know. It's a truth, right?
But it's every one of us. So
Everyone
it's not just you, we
is
all.
over and over and over. This is Kathy, because Kathy's a mom and she likes to mother people, right? She has a good heart. So she's attached. I'm showing y'all something right now. She's attaching to your emotion. She doesn't want you to feel bad. So she's taking on your stuff and saying, oh, but it's all of us. Don't feel bad, because all of us, see?
Right.
She attached. I'm showing her something.
Right.
She attached to your emotion.
I didn't think I was having any emotion.
But you were, or she felt like you might, And so the more you just say to yourself, this is a good example. It's good that you did that, because that was an example of it's not about me.
And I do mother.
Yes, you do, because Kathy has a beautiful heart, and she feels like she needs to help people all the time, right? I'm not criticizing, I'm stating truth about Kathy.
But sometimes when you help others, you're not thinking about your stuff.
Right. Exactly. That's
what I
exactly
found.
that's
My-
exactly
my
right.
personal-
And that's why we have to practice. It's not about me. It's not about me. Not to say you can't help somebody if they ask you for help. See? But people that need help will genuinely ask for some help. But if you just go assuming that you can help them, that is your ego telling you, oh, they need help, but you don't know if they need help or not. We have no idea. This is you inside of your own mind. See, it's good. This is a practice. We're doing practice right now, because we're able to see in action what happens, right? Can you flick that light switch, because it's starting to get dark and the people over here won't be able to see. So if we remember this on the littlest of things, and I'm not downing Kathy because she did that. That was a good thing, because it was supposed to happen so we could see it in action. Just as simple as that. And you think it's something good, right? You think it's something good. What's good is bad. What's bad is good, right? Because you're assuming, like, you're taking on somebody else's stuff that you don't even know really what their stuff is.
And that's huge, because that's something I do all the time without thinking.
Yes.
I mean, it's an innate thing that I now have to recognize.
Yes. Yeah, see, Kathy's speaking truth to herself. This is good. See, this is how it works. This is what you do inside yourself. Recognize, oh, what is that feeling? Because you had a feeling before you spoke,
Mhm.
right? You had the feeling, oh, he might feel like he's the only one. So you had this feeling inside of you
And it was because in the past, so I went back and I attached to a feeling
that you had in the
and then
past.
threw it on to him
Yes.
or her or whoever.
Right.
And then that we should share the same commonality.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, but it really, that situation had nothing to do with you. So you can practice saying, that's not about me. I don't need to attach to that. Because that didn't happen to me just now. Where am I? What am I doing? See, go through the steps of recognizing being in this present moment, not in your head. Because your head, this right here, your head, not your mind. See, I'm speaking head now. Your head will tell you a bunch of garbage, right? But your heart, your mind will tell you the truth. But we've spent so many years in our head that we forgot to listen to our mind. And then, so now we're practicing listening to our mind. See, that wasn't in your heart at all. It was in your head. You went back in time, you felt bad, then you came back, right? This is how easy it is to suck us back. But if you stay in this present moment, you don't get sucked back. You know, if you practice, oh, that's not about me. They may not even be thinking the same thing I thought back then. You know, and 99% of the time they're not. You know, occasionally you'll get somebody that's in that and will be like, oh yeah, you know, I felt like that too. And then what happens? Then y'all share that suffering together. And it's like, oh yeah. And then you talk about it and you create all this garbage and then you wonder why you feel bad.
Misery loves company.
Yeah. But you don't have to do that. That's the good news. The good news is you don't have to do that. You can just be like, oh, okay, that's not about me. I say it all the time. Sometimes I hang up on y'all. Sometimes I, okay, well, you're going to have to work this out. This is on you, because it's not about me. And I give you tools, but I can't use them for you. I use them for myself. You got to use them for you. And that's the way it works. And then once you start practicing that and recognizing it, and it happens to us all the time, right? I mean, we're constantly forgetting to be in the present moment. We forget to be in the present moment. Then all of a sudden we're in our mind and we're back here, or not our mind, but our head. And we're back here and we're up here, or we're, clinging to something. This is what happens because we're in here.
So in my mind a lot, if I do something, I always have to have an explanation for myself.
Yes.
That's chatter.
Yes.
That's just bullshit.
Yes, that's exactly right. 100%.
It's because I don't need to have an explanation for anything I do.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Because who are you explaining it to?
And that's it. That's the question. Because I just went to the dentist. I did something. I was like, and I'm giving myself explanations, but for what reason? I made a decision. I went forward. You
Right.
know?
Who cares?
Right. It's not.
You're only.
Sometimes I make a decision and I'm driving and I'm like, okay, what am I going to tell this person why I decided to do this? And I don't need to say anything.
No.
And I don't even need to think. Why do I need to see?
No.
This is yeah.
Yes. You don't have to. No. This is you doing you.
Right.
And so all you have to do is say, oh, I want to do it. Okay, I did it. You don't have to explain to yourself. You already know why you did it.
Just tell yourself to shut up and start.
I just love myself.
Yeah, you just got to start giving yourself loving kindness instead of the chatter. And I'm telling you, it works 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Even with enemies. I've done it. I know. Now I don't have any enemies because I love everybody. I've forgiven everybody. I've forgiven myself. So where's the enemies? There isn't any. It's an amazing little thing there. It's like magic. I mean, it's truly amazing. But we don't know it because we've never done it. Like we haven't practiced at it and gotten good at it. And then all of a sudden, this is what really changes the world. I've lived in a world like that. I know it's true. And it's not as hard as you think. Suffering is the hard thing. That's hard. You know, to me anyway, maybe it's not to everybody, but to me, it's hard. I don't want to do that. That's hard. It's unpleasant. I don't like it. You know? So I'm here. Things happen, they happen. It's just that. They happen. You know? I was going to go to Thailand. I couldn't go to Thailand. That happened. Who cares? It's already done. It's gone. Means nothing. If I go to Thailand, I go to Thailand. Okay, that'll happen. Right? It doesn't mean anything. It just is what it is. But we create all this stuff to make it something that it's not. Are y'all getting this? Yeah?
It's all really nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah, it's all nothing. It's just that.
People would
It
stay
is what
pissed
it
off
is.
about that for weeks.
Yes, it is what it is. That's that saying. It is what it is. People get upset about hearing it is what it is.
It's the truth.
It is the truth.
It's not the truth.
Yes, it's just that. Whatever it is, it's just that.
It's not going to change anything.
No. So if we remember that, we don't get attached to things. See, attaching to it makes us suffer. Because we think, oh, this is good. It's going to last forever. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to hang on to it. Guess what? Next thing you know, it happens every time we come off retreat. I already know, right? I already know everybody's going to be in suffering the next week. I'm like, okay, it'll start any second now. You know, it's true because they forget to be in the present. They forget to forgive themselves. Then when they're not in the present, then they get mad at themselves for not being in the present. It's a whole thing. When instead of just saying, oh, well, it is what it is. I was there and I'm not now. Right? That's really what it amounts to. I was there, but I'm not. Okay. Yeah. Our first retreat, Kathy learned that, begin again. We did walking meditation and we all started walking, but the next thing I know, everybody's sitting down except for me. And I'm still walking and I get done and I sat down and I was like, oh, y'all got enlightenment already? That was pretty quick. They're like, well, no. And I'm like, well, why'd you stop? Well, you didn't tell us. No. And they got mad. They were all like pissed at me. I was like, I was like, begin again. Just begin again. No, they were pissed because they had to begin again. And it was a little hot out there. And I'm not sure Kathy got pissed. Did you get pissed?
I was more concerned about
Everybody
being
else.
wrong.
Oh, okay.
So that was all ego there.
Right.
That was me. I wanted to be the pleaser,
Right,
good thing.
right.
So, but others got really mad. They cussed too. I mean,
Yeah, they did. They cussed at me.
But isn't the truth of the whole thing, if you didn't finish, you have to begin again?
Yeah, it's always.
That's always the truth.
That's always the way it works. If you don't get it the first time, it's going to come back around. Don't worry. You'll begin again. Yeah.
I mean,
So
I heard that so many times in
Yep.
the Marine Corps. You didn't finish, start over.
Yep.
You know.
So it's like this,
Repetition.
if we can just practice at forgiveness, right? I'm going back because, it's like 5 minutes to 8. So I'm going to go back and say, first of all, forgive yourself and forgive others. All right. Number 1, do that. Be truthful inside yourself. Be kind and loving to yourself. Be patient because, this is all kind of new for everybody. So be patient. Don't be hard on yourself. Those harsh words come in, they create something and it generates out. So when you're being mean to you, you're being mean to others, even though you may not think you are. But that's a truth, right? Give it an effort. I mean, really give it an effort. Try this, today, this minute, every minute. Just try to give it an effort of being in the present. Try to not stay in the head and go start living in your heart. Because if you do these simple little things, it will create some beautiful things in your life. You will find peace. You will find Ubeka if you do these things. This is truth. And I know it's truth because I live it every day. But I do practice every day. I practice, I get up, I start my morning in peace. And every minute of the day, I'm reminding myself to stay in peace. It's not that there's things aren't coming at me. I had a deal fall through that affected like 3 other people, but I didn't get crazy. I was like, well, that is what it is. I'm sure we'll get another contract. 2 days later, the house was back under contract for more than what the other price was. Beautiful, right? This is how it works. But if I had gotten angry, it would have generated some other energy out there, and that's what would have come back. You have to practice it. You have to practice at being present. You have to practice at reminding yourself those are thoughts that are not necessary. What is the point? Is it useful? How does it make me feel? What is the end result? Do I want that result? These are questions for yourself. And then you can say, no, so I'm going to be here. I'm going to be right here, right now. I don't need to be in here, right? Let me find some goodness in myself. Let me give myself some loving kindness. Let me not talk trash about myself. Because we do that, and it doesn't help. It just creates more suffering. This is the habit we're in, but we can break that habit. Habits are an excuse to continue to do something that you've done and created in your life and you don't want anymore, but you don't want to give the effort. It's a habit. No, it's not a habit. You can change it in an instant, in a second. It can be different. But only you can change it. You're powerful. You don't know how powerful you are because you give your power to something that does not exist. A thought. Where is it? Can you touch it? It doesn't exist. It's nothing. It's just something you've made up in your head. That's what you're giving your power to. But power is in the loving kindness that you give to yourself. And boy, I'm telling you what, it's powerful. And it can change the world. Even though people may not think so, I know it can. I do not have a doubt about that. So, how about some meditation? All right. So everybody's going to sit up. Get themselves ready. Left hand, right hand, thumbs together. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. If you think that your mind is wandering, just come back to your breath. Just feel your breath at your nose. You can follow it down into your chest and your lungs if you want to and follow it back out. But just stay there in your breath. Metta Jeto Vimudya Karuna Jeto Vimudya Mudita Jeto Vimudya Ubeka Jeto Vimudya. Take a deep breath in. Come back to yourself. Wiggle your toes and your hands. Move your neck. How is everybody? Good? In a good place? All right, good. All right, everybody online. It was good to have you present, and hope to see you next week. Many blessings to all of you. May you have Ubeka.